What's up, YouTube? It's Randy Orton Fan 2011, and I'm here to bring you the third annual Pepsi All-Star Showdown for $1 million, 50 points, and the right to the race name of your name here 400, presented by Crown Royal at the Brickyard. So we got 24 of the best drivers here in the PORWC Pepsi Cup Series, and their qualifying order was determined via a specific criteria based on how soon they got it. So let's introduce our field here for the third annual Pepsi All-Star Showdown. Dylan Poteet and Danny Wells in row 1, Sean Henley, Seth Cole in row 2, Liam Ervig, Tony Blaze in row 3, Emilio Navarrete, Trent Dunn in row 4, Charles Jackson and Lyndon Wright in row 5. Then we got Ryan Cooper and Jake Cole, Anthony McCurry, James McLeod, Dylan Young, Eric Burton, Ryan Richards, James Qualls, Kyle Sosnowski, Callum Wales, Michael Norman, Barney Ward, Sean Galligan, our fan vote winner, and Aaron Williams Jr., the guy who has won this event the past 2 seasons, but he is no longer an active member in the series, but will return for this race only in the All-Star race. So he'll be starting dead last in this field. Now here are the rules to this first segment. There will be 10 laps. The top 16 drivers will advance into the second quarter. This is the first quarter. Top 16 drivers who finish this segment will advance into the second quarter regardless if they finish the race or not. Bottom 8 will be eliminated from the remainder of the All-Star Showdown and will receive 1 point. So that is how it will go down here for 10 laps, and let's get this started. It's All-Star Weekend, and it's not the band again. It's not the band, guys. How many times I have to tell you guys, it's not the band. This is racing. All-Star Race Weekend, I should probably say it. So we got all 24 cars ready to roll. Going to be a total of 40 laps here. Well, maybe 40 laps, but I know the first 3 quarters will be all 10 laps. Pace car will hit pit road. There you go. Here comes the green flag. All-Star race is underway. And right away, they bunched up. Right away, they're already 3 wide towards the back. Already 3 wide towards the back, but can they keep it together? That is the question. Can they keep it together? Michael Norman probably trying to fall back, trying to wait for his time, and look at these cars. They're really starting to bunch up now. Bonus points will not matter here. It's all about making the next segment. Next quarter, Dylan Poteet will lead lap 1. Yellow flag laps will count in this. And Eric Burton is already well on the outside. He might have scraped the wall there for a moment. He's going to lose a lot because he's got some damage on the right side of that car. So Eric Burton's going to fall probably outside the last qualifying spot here. And now we're pretty much single file here. We've got Dylan Poteet, Sean Henley, Tony Blazer, Danny Wells, Seth Cole, Liam Ervig, Trent Dunham. The top 7 have pulled away from a little bit. There is Emilio Navarrete, who is desperately going to need some points here. Emilio Navarrete actually made it to this year's All-Star race as per winning at Hogzilla last season in Season 2. Came up with a major upset during that race, and now with a lot of points with 50 points on the line. Remember, 50 points are on the line. This won't count officially under the win table, but 50 points. That is more than the maximum amount of points you can get in one race. And with the points gap between first and second, finishing first and second this race, that's 20 points. 20 points for between first and second. You can gain a lot of points in this race. So one of those drivers, Emilio Navarrete, is really going to hope to advance past this first segment, or maybe at least into the fourth quarter of this race. Of course, because he wants those big points, and a win for Emilio Navarrete here would mean a lot to get himself back in the race in the points. Take a look at the place where the last qualifying spots are. Dylan Young currently holds the last qualifying spot. Remember, you want to finish anywhere 16th or above. 17th and below. Barney Ward is the first guy out at this point. 5 laps to go, my bad. 5 laps to go. Back to the lead as Dylan Poteet and Sean Henley are battling for it. And there's Aaron Williams Jr. Well, he's probably just going to hang back here. It doesn't look like he's going to have another shot at the title this year because he's much slower than the rest of this field. Ryan Richards, Michael Norman, and all these other cars. There's 6 cars like here. And 2 cars here are pretty much out. Or the first 2 out are Barney Ward and Kyle Sosnowski. So with 4 laps to go here, this could be a factor in determining who will win this race, as Sean Henley now has taken over the lead. And here comes Tony Blazer to the inside of Dylan Poteet looking for the second position. Battle here for fourth between Danny Wells and Seth Cole. Trent Dunham is in 6th right now. Got a battle here for 7th between Emilio Navarrete, Liam Ervig, and Charles Jackson. And again, you want to be well towards the front of this field, but you want to get as much points as you can. You get eliminated in this segment, you only get 1 point. And again, you're not gonna see some long runs here. You're only gonna see 10 laps as Sean Henley still the leader, but here comes Tony Blazer, who's taken away 2nd. Dylan Poteet now 3rd. Danny Wells is in 4th. Trent Dunham's now moved his way into 5th with 2 laps to go now. Again, we're going to be paying attention right around this area because Dylan Young is currently the last guy in 16th. Dylan Young's currently the last guy in 16th, and Barney Ward is the first driver out in 17th. He's got 1 more lap to try and get a run off Dylan Young as we take the white flag. First quarter of this race about to come to a close. Sean Henley is still solidly the leader. Remember, each time the field gets cycled through, each time we cycle through this, we will randomize the starting order for the rest of this race as we're just about ready to finish this one off. Who will be in, who will be out? Sean Henley will win the first quarter. He will get 10 bonus points. Let's see who's going to make it to 16th. And it will be Dylan Young and Barney Ward. Barney Ward actually passed Ryan Cooper for the last transfer spot in the second quarter. So Barney Ward, who was running the first car out, is now the last car in. Something happened with Ryan Cooper, and he will end up being the first car out, as well as Kyle Sosnowski, Callum Wales, Sean Galligan, Michael Norman, Ryan Richards, Aaron Williams Jr., and Eric Burton, who pretty much stood no chance. But wow, we did not expect to see. We thought for sure that Ryan Cooper had a chance at it, but something happened with the 1 car, and that has cost him a spot in the second quarter. As you see, there is our quarter winner, Sean Henley. He will receive 10 bonus points for winning this quarter. So that's 10 bonus. So that's 10 points for Sean Henley right off the bat. That's big for him. Let's take you to your results. Here are your results after the first quarter. Sean Henley, Dylan Poteet, Tony Blazer, Danny Wells, Trent Dunham. That is your top 5. Like I said, Sean Henley will receive 10 bonus points for winning the first segment. Emilio Navarrete, Seth Cole, Jake Cole, Liam Ervig, and Charles Jackson are 6 through 10. The last 6 to make it in are Lyndon Wright, James McLeod, James Qualls, Anthony McCurry, Dylan Young, and Barney Ward. So Barney Ward, who was running the first car out most of the race, ends up being the last car in. We'll take a look at what happened with Ryan Cooper in a bit, but Ryan Cooper, Kyle Sosnowski, Callum Wales, Sean Galligan, Michael Norman, Ryan Richards, Aaron Williams Jr., and Eric Burton will finish in the bottom 8. They will not advance to the second quarter. So let's take a look at what happened with Ryan Cooper right on the very last lap. Stay tuned. Here's what happened to Ryan Cooper that really ended up costing him a spot in that second quarter. He ended up just getting on the apron a little bit, and that really slowed him down. That opened the door for Barney Ward to go from the first car out to the last car in. And that was all that Barney Ward needed to advance into the second segment. So big ups for Barney Ward as he will move on to the second segment, get some more points. Sean Henley is your first quarter winner. He will receive 10 bonus points. Stay tuned for your second quarter. Here we go. It's time for the second segment, the second quarter of the All-Star Showdown. I do want to point out that the top 8 will move on to the third quarter, the third segment. Now, the points change up here a little bit. Now, minimum of 3 points will be given to those who end up being eliminated from this segment. Now 13 through 16, those who finish 13 through 16 get 3 points. Those who finish 9 through 12 get 5 points. So that is how the points will be given out in this quarter. Pace car will hit pit road. And here we go as the green flag is out once again for 10 more laps here at Charlotte. And we're still going to be, and again, they're starting to bunch up right away from the get-go. Really starting to bunch up here. The last thing you want to do is cough up and have a mistake, and that could really end up costing you in the race right here. As you see, Sean Henley, James Qualls battling for the lead here. Seth Cole trying to get third from Liam Ervig, and now we got fifth here. We got battle for fifth between Tony Blazer and Dylan Poteet, and then you've got Trent Dunham in the mix here as well. Anthony McCurry is currently in the last transfer spot in 8th, but here comes Emilio Navarrete, and I mentioned before, Emilio Navarrete is desperate for some big points. He's currently dead last in the points, and Emilio Navarrete is probably in a desperate spot right now, but at this point, he is currently the first car out. So that would only be 5 points for Emilio Navarrete, and that will not be a lot to get back in the race in the points, to get back at least in the wild card chase. You see all these other cars, Danny Wells, Charles Jackson, they're starting to lose the draft here. They're going to fall back here. And look at this, Emilio Navarrete trying to get a run on the inside. He's got his teammate Dylan Young behind him. Will Dylan Young try to help out his teammate, but again, Anthony McCurry able to work the outside line. Anthony McCurry is able to work the outside line on that deal. Remember, the top 8 will move on to the third quarter. And again, Sean Henley going to battle for the lead here with James Qualls. And there comes Seth Cole and Liam Ervig behind them. Liam Ervig's got his teammate Henley, but Seth Cole and Qualls is off the wall. James Qualls going to bounce off the wall. He's going to lose positions. Qualls going to fall back to 5th, make that 6th for Trent Dunham, taking away 5th. Dylan Poteet, a fellow Kentucky native with James Qualls, is going to try to take away the 6th position. James Qualls went from 2nd all the way back to the 7th position. So now he could lose a spot here to Anthony McCurry because James Qualls is stuck on the outside. And now back to the lead battle. Seth Cole and Sean Henley are now battling for the lead as we have passed the halfway point now of this segment. Top 4 are just about ahead of the rest of the pack here. Trenton Dunham has a gap between him and Dylan Poteet, who's in 6th. And now Anthony McCurry, and now Emilio Navarrete has now passed McCurry for the final transfer spot, and now he could have his teammate Dylan Young to go alongside him. Remember, Anthony McCurry actually came in as the points leader. If he only gets like a couple of points here, this could be huge for Anthony McCurry because he could lose a lot of points in this race alone, and this isn't even an official race. This is an exhibition race, but there are points on the line. Right now, Emilio Navarrete is in the last transfer spot, but here comes Dylan Young with help from James McLeod to the inside, trying to take away that last transfer spot from Emilio Navarrete. James Qualls, he had a problem earlier, but he's able to defend the line, and now we got a 5-car pack here. We got a 5-car train, a 5-car line, and make that 6 for Dylan Poteet. So these cars, if they don't wreck, they're pretty much all but in it. So again, we're going to be paying attention right here. Dylan Young, currently the first car out. Emilio Navarrete trying to get as far as he can in this all-star race, trying to get as much points as he can to get back in the picture here, because Emilio Navarrete's behind by at least, I would say, 25 or 30 points behind Callum Wales, who's 41st in the standings. Emilio Navarrete looking for the run, but Dylan Young is not really helping him out that much, but now Qualls slipped up a bit on the racetrack. Emilio Navarrete to take over 7th. White flag is out, 1 lap to go, and Sean Henley is now the leader of this segment, and Dylan Young will take over the 8th position. Dylan Young is now the last guy in. James Qualls is the first guy out. Well, how about Sean Henley here? He has taken over this race. He's taken over this segment. It looks like they'll come off of turn 3 and off of turn 4. And coming off of turn 4, Sean Henley will win his 2nd segment. Another 10 bonus points for Sean Henley. Emilio Navarrete will move on to the 3rd quarter, and so will his teammate Dylan Young. Dylan Young able to take advantage of the problems with James Coles' car that happened towards the early parts of this race, and James Coles will be the first driver out in segment 2. James McLeod will end up 10th, Anthony McCurry 11th. That's 5 points for McCurry. That's not a lot that he wanted. Danny Wells 12th, Jake Cole 13th, Charles Jackson 14th, Lyndon Wright 15th, and Barney Ward will finish off the rest of this segment. But how about Sean Henley? 2 segments right there. He has won 20 points, and he's going to get at least another 10 if he ends up getting eliminated in the third quarter. He's going to get 30 points right there, and that's 30 points right there. That's already second place points there. So big points for Sean Henley. That will most certainly help him out in the standings. And now we take you to your results. There's a look at your results. Sean Henley is the winner of the second quarter. 20 bonus points so far for Sean Henley. And, you know, if this ends up happening, we could have a huge point swing here. Sean Henley currently has won 2 of 2 segments. If he ends up making it to the fourth quarter, he will get at least 15 more points. And really, that could be... So Sean Henley has made it to the third quarter, was going to get at least 30 points here after this race. And that is already default second place points in this All-Star race. So Sean Henley with a huge advantage so far. Liam Ervig 2nd, Seth Cole 3rd, Trent Dunham 4th, Dylan Poteet 5th, Tony Blazer 6th, Emilio Navarrete 7th, and Dylan Young in 8th. Those are the 8 drivers that will move on to the third segment. So stay tuned, guys. The third segment is underway. We are halfway through this All-Star race. Just hang in there, guys. It's not over till it's over. Stay tuned. Halftime show's over. Let's get the second half of the All-Star Showdown underway. Now, all eyes are going to be on Sean Henley here because he has controlled most of this. He's controlled the first half of this All-Star Showdown. He has won the first 2 segments, so that's 20 bonus points already for Sean Henley, and he's looking for more. He's not done yet. Green flag is out. Here we go. 10 more laps, and we'll see which 4 drivers will make it into the final segment of this race. We've been caution-free so far in this race, and we got a couple of cars already on the apron. That was Tony Blazer was on the apron for a moment, and it looks like Emilio Navarrete will try and pass him for that 7th position, but all eyes are going to be on the 4th and 5th position between Dylan Young. It looks like he will take it on the inside line with help from Liam Ervig, as Trent Dunham will lead the first lap. And of course, Trent Dunham, he would love to get some bonus points right here. 10 bonus points are very critical, especially when you see, especially with the point system. Trent Dunham could definitely use some bonus points here, but now you got Dylan Poteet and Sean Henley trying to work together here. Sean Henley going to try to retake control of this race, because this is his race to win so far, and he has been doing very well. Sean Henley will lead a lap as we have finished 2 of 10 laps in this segment. So now Dylan Young is taken over to 3rd position. Trent Dunham is now in the last transfer spot. Now again, you want to think about Emilio Navarrete and where he is in the points. He's dead last in the points, and he would love to get into that final segment where he can have a chance at 50 points. Remember, 50 points is the payoff for the winner of the final segment. Of course, also $1 million is on the line. Not really. I wish it was, but $1 million virtual dollars are on the line here. But of course, right now it's all about survival and making it to the final segment. You got to get past the third quarter to get into the fourth quarter. And right now, as we're at the halfway point now, Sean Henley, Dylan Poteet, Dylan Young, and Trent Dunham are the guys who could transfer. But remember, it's still a bit of a gap now, and now there's a bit of a gap between Trent Dunham and Seth Cole. Seth Cole right now is the first guy out of the final segment. As long as the front 4 can keep it together here without problems, they will very likely get into the final segment. As we have now passed halfway point. We now passed the halfway point of this race, as Sean Henley has now fallen to the final transfer spot. Now, it was well on the outside there. Dylan Poteet now taking over the lead. He could certainly use 10 bonus points. Try and get himself toward a little closer to the points lead. 4 laps to go now, as Dylan Poteet, Dylan Young, the 2 Dylans now these two guys are buddies, but again, they both drive Fords, but again, they do want to one-up each other, as what we've seen on Sean Henley's Amp Energy Cup Series. There's a lot of respect between these two guys, both named Dylan, and both spelled Dylan the way it is. Now Sean Henley trying to retake his momentum, trying to get closer and closer, trying to take a cushion, trying to get a little bit of a cushion now, and we saw Poteet actually bounce off the wall there. So Dylan Poteet bounced off the wall, and with 3 laps to go, this could be huge now. This could open the door up for the back 4. This could be the door of opportunity now wide open, as Liam Ervig is now the first car out of the final segment. Sean Henley is now up to second. Dylan Young could also use 10 bonus points, try and get himself closer to the points lead. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go in this final segment. Dylan Poteet trying to hang on to the final transfer spot against Liam Ervig, and now there's a battle here for 6. They're going to have to work. Seth Cole, Tony Blazer, and Emilio Navarrete. These 3 are going to have to work together if they want to have a chance at Dylan Poteet, who's currently in the last transfer spot right now. Dylan Young will take the white flag. 1 lap to go. Who will be the final 4 in this All-Star Showdown? Pay attention here. This could be the key factor here for Dylan Poteet. Now he's got to defend that final transfer spot. Sean Henley trying to make it 3 for 3. Going to have a run, but it's not going to be enough, as it's Dylan Young who will win segment 3. He will get 10 bonus points, and yes, it will be Dylan Poteet who will get the final transfer spot in the final segment. Liam Ervig, Seth Cole, Tony Blazer, and Emilio Navarrete, they will be eliminated from the final segment. They will all receive 10 points. So far you have the segment winners so far who are going to be in this final segment. Dylan Young, who has received 10 bonus points for winning this segment. Then you got Sean Henley, Trenton Dunham, and Dylan Poteet are defending champ. So segment 2 is done. Segment 3 is done. I failed miserably there. Segment 3 is done. Now we take you to your results. Here is your results after the third quarter. Dylan Young, Sean Henley, Trent Dunham, and Dylan Poteet. Those are the 4 that will battle it out for $1 million, 50 points, and their right to the Your Name Here 400 at Indianapolis later on in the season. Those 4 will be competing in the final segment. Liam Ervig, Seth Cole, Tony Blazer, and Emilio Navarrete have been eliminated from the All-Star Showdown. They will all receive 10 points for finishing 5th through 8th. So we're almost done, guys. Just hang in there a little bit more. 10 more laps to determine which driver will win the big All-Star race and those big bonus points. Stay tuned. We are back. This is it. 4 drivers have made it this far to the final segment. Only 1 will be getting those 50 bonus points, those 50 big points, their name on the Your Name Here 400 at the Brickyard, and $1 million to their name. 4 drivers are left. These are the 4 drivers that have made it past 3 segments, and now they're going to be here battling in the final segment. Sean, we got a lot of good names, big names here. Big names, huge names. Sean Henley, who has won 2 segments so far. He won segments 1 and 2. He's already got 20 bonus points. If he gets this win, that will be 70 total points for Sean Henley, and he would certainly love to have that on with all those extra bonus points there. And then you got Dylan Poteet, the defending PORWC Pepsi Cup Series champion, would love to actually take the points lead away from Anthony McCurry, who got eliminated earlier in the night. Trent Dunham trying to get himself into the top 12 in points, as we are just about almost halfway through the regular season here. Trent Dunham trying to get as much points as he can to get himself in a position at least within the top 10 here. And then you finally got Dylan Young, who is actually on who had the longest active losing streak in my series since season 1, and he finally won in season 3, and now he won segment 3 with those 10 bonus points. And actually here's a big scenario. Anthony McCurry is actually less than 30 points ahead of Dylan Young and Dylan Poteet. So if either Dylan Young or Dylan Poteet ends up winning the race, then that means they will take over the points lead. So a lot is on the line here for these 4 drivers, as we're just about ready to finish this one off let's get this started and determine a big winner. They've started to roll off. Here we go. It's a fatal four-way. It's a free-for-all for 4 drivers, $1 million, 50 points, and a lot of pride. Green flag is out. Here we go. 10 more laps to determine who is the 1%. Nobody will remember. Nobody will remember second place here. It's all about the win. You got to get it, and you want to get it right away. Of course, only one driver will have the right to that win. Trent Dunham will take it early, and Henley bounces off the wall. Dylan Young saves it, but that's going to open the door for Trent Dunham, who's going to pull away from the rest of the field. But it's still, again, still early in the race. Anything can happen. Sean Henley with a lot of damage. That might have really cost him a shot at the win here. And Dylan Poteet, he really had to slow down. So Trent Dunham could be cruising here for a couple of laps, but he's gonna have to keep it in. He's gonna have to keep it in gear here if he wants to be able to successfully reap in the rewards. Again, watch the speeds here. Trent Dunham gets the 202. Dylan Young actually gets the 205 on the foot of the backstretch. So we'll take a look at the lap times as they get to the line here. Trent Dunham was 27.141. Dylan Young ran a 27.032, but Dylan Poteet ran a 26.828. So Dylan Poteet was the fastest there. Dylan Poteet had the fastest car there. He's going to try and take away second. That's 10 points right there for Dylan Poteet if he can take away second. 10 points, that would be 10 very valuable points right there. 30 points for second, 20 points for third, 15 for fourth. And Sean Henley, who was dominated the first part of this race, has now fallen all the way to the back end. He is pretty much all but out of it now. As now Dylan Young will surrender the second position to Dylan Poteet. Dylan Poteet trying to run down Trent Dunham. He's got 5 laps to do it. Halfway through the final segment of the All-Star. Take the look at the lap times. Dylan Poteet 26.820. Trent Dunham 27.092. Trent Dunham has the advantage with the clean air, but remember, Dylan Poteet has the draft. Dylan Poteet has the draft. So he's got a little bit of a speed advantage right now, but remember, it's still a long way to go. We still got 4 laps to go, and well, now you can count out Sean Henley out of this. Well, a very unfortunate event for Sean Henley. He bounced off the wall there on the very first lap. He's going to lose all that ground, and a very tough way to end the All-Star race for Sean Henley, who pretty much dominated the first half of this race. Dylan Poteet starting to trying to close in Trent Dunham, trying to reel him in. And Dylan Young is right there. If these two make a mistake, Dylan Young could possibly reap in the rewards. And Dylan Poteet's running faster lap times than Trent Dunham now. Remember that. We still have 2.5 laps. But Dylan Poteet, remember that he's running much faster lap times. Running faster lap times than Trent Dunham. He's looking to the inside. Looking to the inside. He's going to have 2 laps. 2 laps for a defending champ of Dylan Poteet to try and take away the win from Trent Dunham, and Trent Dunham trying to defend the lead here, trying to defend it as much as he can. Still a long way to go. Remember, it's not over till it's over. And it's probably going to be a 3-car battle here. If Trent Dunham and Dylan Poteet end up screwing up in this final lap, it could open the door for Dylan Young. White flag is out. 1 lap to go. This is it. Got to put it all on the line now. Putting it all on the line now. This is it. This is going to be the deciding factor of this All-Star race. Trent Dunham looking for a big win. Hasn't won since Season 1. Dylan Poteet trying to look in the inside, but he's not going to have enough. Here comes the checkered flag. Trent Dunham wins the All-Star race. 50 points for Trent Dunham. He is $1 million richer. Huge win for Trent Dunham in the All-Star race. 50 points, $1 million. And now the race at later on in the season in Indianapolis will be called the Trent Dunham 400 at the Brickyard. And we had a pretty big events here. Sean Henley bouncing off the wall early on in the race, pretty much costing him, that might be his All-Star race in a nutshell right there. Sean Henley bouncing off the wall early on in the race. He's going to come away with 15 points. Dylan Young gets 20 points. Dylan Poteet had the run, just didn't have enough time. 30 points for Dylan Poteet, and Trent Dunham has done it. He has won the All-Star race. That is huge for Trent Dunham right now. And now we take you to your final results. There are your final results, and really these four guys have worked so hard. They fought very hard all the way to the end, but in the end, Trent Dunham, just enough speed to hold off Dylan Poteet. A big win for Trent Dunham. 50 points. Huge 50 points for Trent Dunham. And for the rest of the guys, Sean Henley will actually earn more points than both Dylan Young and Dylan Poteet, because Sean Henley won 2 segments, so that's 20 bonus points. So, and for 4th place, you get 15 points, so Sean Henley gets 35 points total. Dylan Young gets 20 points plus the 10 for winning. It's segment 3, so that's 30 points. Dylan Poteet didn't win a segment, but he finishes second. 30 points for Dylan Poteet and 50 points for Trent Dunham. And Trent Dunham will get that check for $1 million. Huge for Trent Dunham. That is probably the one thing he needed after he came away with a top 10 at Darlington, and that was huge for Trent Dunham and big for momentum. And Trent Dunham wins the All-Star race here in Season 3. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the All-Star race. Of course, I will give you the standings later on to reflect the All-Star points. And wow, we had an epic All-Star race from start to finish. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and really it was great to be doing this All-Star race. I mean, you cannot ask for a better race than that. You had Dylan Poteet just reeling in Trent Dunham and then just ran out of time right at the end. But congratulations to Trent Dunham. That is huge. 50 points right there. And of course, we will have our Charlotte race weekend here next time. We'll have our Charlotte race weekend here later on in the week, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, that's it. This is Randy Orton Fan 2011 signing off. This race has been brought to you by Pepsi Next. Crisp, refreshing, amazing. Pepsi Next. Subscribe to me and become a member of the gang. One more time, congratulations to Trent Dunham. He wins the PORWC Pepsi All-Star Showdown, and he wins $1 million and 50 points and his name in the Your Name Here 400, which will officially now be the Trent Dunham 400 at the Brickyard. Thank you guys for thanks for the All-Stars, and we had a great All-Star race weekend. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm out.